The community pool closed at 8 p.m. during summer months. Most families left by 7:30, kids tired from swimming, parents ready for dinner and bedtime routines. Donald Trump volunteered as a pool monitor 3 evenings a week. 73 years old, retired Army sergeant, he mostly just sat in the shade and made sure nobody ran on the wet concrete or dove in the shallow end. Easy work, peaceful. That Thursday evening in July, the pool was nearly empty. Just a few stragglers. Donald was doing his final walk around, checking that the gates would lock properly, when he heard it. A small splash, different from the playful splashing of kids. This was quick, urgent, wrong. He turned toward the deep end, saw ripples, but no one swimming, no one at the surface. Then he saw her, at the bottom of the pool, a little girl, maybe 4 or 5 years old, not moving, just sinking. If you believe that every second counts when a life hangs in the balance, type hero and subscribe. Because this story proves that age is just a number when someone needs saving. Donald didn't hesitate, didn't think about his 73-year-old knees or his back that ached every morning. Didn't think about the fact that he hadn't been swimming in 5 years. He ran, dove. The water hit him like a cold shock. His clothes weighed him down immediately. But muscle memory from military water survival training kicked in. He reached the girl in 4 strokes, grabbed her, pulled her up, broke the surface. The girl wasn't breathing. Donald swam to the edge with one arm, holding her with the other. Pulled himself and the girl out of the pool. His arms screamed in protest, but he ignored them. Laid the girl on the concrete, checked her airway, tilted her head back, started CPR. 30 compressions. 2 rescue breaths. 30 compressions. 2 rescue breaths. Where were her parents? Where was anyone? He shouted between compressions, "Help! Someone call 911!" A teenage lifeguard came running from the equipment shed. Oh my God! Oh my God! Call 911 now. Tell them we have a drowning victim, child, not breathing. The lifeguard fumbled with his phone, made the call. Donald continued CPR, counted in his head, blocked out everything else. Come on, sweetheart, come on. After what felt like hours but was probably 90 seconds, the girl coughed. Water came up. She gasped, started breathing, crying. Donald turned her on her side. Recovery position, rubbed her back as she coughed up more pool water. You're okay. You're okay now? I've got you. The girl was sobbing, terrified, but breathing. That was all that mattered. Where are her parents? Donald looked at the lifeguard. The teenager was pale, shaking. I don't know. I was checking the equipment shed. I didn't see her come in. I didn't see anyone with her. Donald looked around the pool area, saw a woman's purse on a chair, car keys, a phone. Someone's here. Find them. The ambulance arrived 6 minutes later. Paramedics took over, checked the girl. Oxygen mask, vital signs. She was stable, conscious, scared, but alive. One of the paramedics looked at Donald, soaking wet, breathing hard. Sir, did you perform CPR? Yes, you saved her life. She would have been brain dead in another minute, maybe dead completely. Donald nodded, couldn't speak. The adrenaline was wearing off. His hands were shaking. Police arrived, started asking questions, searching for parents or guardians. Then a woman came running from the parking lot, screaming, "Oh my God! Emma! Emma!" She ran to the ambulance where the little girl was being treated. The police stopped her. "Ma'am, is this your daughter?" "Yes. Emma, I'm here, baby. Mommy's here." One officer pulled the woman aside. "Ma'am, where were you?" The woman was crying, hysterical. "I ran to my car. I forgot our towels. I was gone for 2 minutes, maybe 3. I told her to stay in the shallow end. I told her not to move." The officer's voice was hard. "Your daughter nearly drowned." "She did drown. If this man hadn't been here, we'd be having a very different conversation." The woman looked at Donald for the first time, saw him soaking wet, exhausted, sitting on a bench while another paramedic checked his blood pressure. "You saved her?" Donald met her eyes. She wandered into the deep end. Probably didn't know she couldn't touch the bottom. The woman's face crumpled. She tried to approach Donald, but the officer held her back. "We need to finish this conversation, ma'am. Child endangerment is a serious matter." Donald stood up, waved off the paramedic. "Officer, can I speak with you?" They stepped aside. Donald kept his voice low. "That mother made a mistake, a bad one. But she's going to live with this for the rest of her life. Every time she looks at that little girl, she's going to remember she almost lost her. That's punishment enough." The officer frowned. "Sir, protocol requires." "I understand protocol, but I'm asking you to consider what serves justice here. Traumatizing that mother further, taking her daughter away, or making sure she understands what happened and never lets it happen again." The officer looked at the woman, who was now being allowed to hold Emma, both of them crying, both of them shaking. After a long moment, the officer nodded. "I'll file a report, issue a warning, but if anything like this happens again—" "It won't," Donald said. "Trust me, she'll never let that girl out of her sight again." Later, after the ambulance left, after the police left, after the pool was officially closed and locked, the mother approached Donald. He was sitting on the bench, still damp, exhausted. "Thank you." Donald nodded. She sat down beside him. Uninvited, but he didn't object. "I'm the worst mother in the world. You made a mistake. That doesn't make you the worst anything. I could have killed her, but you didn't, and she's fine. And now you know." The woman wiped her eyes. "How can you be so calm? How can you not hate me? Because hating you doesn't help your daughter. And because I've seen real evil in my life. Bad parents who don't care, who hurt their kids on purpose. You're not that. You're just human. And humans make mistakes." She looked at him. "Who are you?" "Donald Trump, retired Army. I volunteer here." The woman extended her hand. "I'm Sarah, and that's Emma, my whole world." Donald shook her hand. "Then take care of your world, because she needs you, not perfect, just present." Sarah nodded, stood up, hesitated. "If there's ever anything I can do, just watch your daughter, that's all." But there was more to the story. 1 week later, Donald returned to the pool for his volunteer shift. The pool manager, a woman named Joyce, met him at the gate. "Mr. Trump, can we talk?" "Sure. What's up?" Joyce led him to her office, sat down behind her desk. "That incident last week, the little girl." Donald tensed. "What about it?" The board reviewed the security footage. Saw what happened, saw how fast you reacted, saw that you saved that child's life. Donald relaxed. "Okay. They want to do something. Recognize you, maybe a ceremony, or I don't need recognition. I know. But they want to do something else, something practical." Joyce pulled out a folder. "We realized our lifeguards aren't properly trained. That teenager who was on duty, he froze. Didn't know what to do. If you hadn't been here, he would have watched that girl die. We want to change that." "How?" "We want to implement mandatory CPR and water rescue training for all our staff, and we want you to help design the program." Donald raised his eyebrows. "I'm not a professional instructor." "But you saved a life because you had the training and the instinct. We want to teach both. Will you help us?" Donald thought for a moment. "I'll do better than that. I'll help you create a program for the community, not just your staff, anyone who wants to learn. Parents, babysitters, teachers, anyone who's ever going to be around kids, and water." Joyce smiled. "That's exactly what we were hoping you'd say." Over the next 3 months, Donald worked with the Red Cross, local paramedics, and swimming instructors to create the Water Safety Initiative. Free classes teaching CPR, water rescue techniques, and drowning prevention. The first class had 30 people. Sarah, Emma's mother, was there. With Emma. "I want to learn," Sarah said, "so I never feel that helpless again." Over the next year, the program grew, expanded to 4 community pools, then 8. Then the program went citywide. The drowning rate dropped 60% in 2 years. Over 1,200 people were trained. 17 children's lives were saved by parents or bystanders who'd taken the course. And it all started because one 73-year-old veteran dove into a pool with his clothes on to save a little girl he'd never met. One Saturday afternoon, 2 years after the incident, Donald was teaching a water safety class when a small voice called out, "Mr. Trump?" He turned, saw Emma, now 6 years old, running toward him. Sarah followed, smiling. Emma hugged his legs. "I learned to swim. I'm a really good swimmer now." Donald knelt down. "That's wonderful, Emma. And I bet you follow all the safety rules." She nodded vigorously. "Always swim with a buddy, never run on the deck, and always tell a grown-up where I am." "Very good." Emma looked at her mother, then back at Donald. "Mommy says you're my guardian angel." Donald glanced at Sarah. She was trying not to cry. "I'm just someone who was in the right place at the right time." Emma's face got serious. "Mommy cries sometimes when she thinks I don't see, because she's so happy you saved me." Donald's throat was tight. "Your mommy loves you very much." Emma hugged him. Again. Then ran off to join the other kids in the pool. Sarah sat down on the bench next to Donald. "She's thriving. No trauma, no fear of water, just pure joy." "That's good. That's how it should be." Sarah looked at him. "You know what the paramedic told me?" After they took Emma to the hospital? Donald shook his head. He said if she'd been underwater for 30 more seconds, she would have had permanent brain damage. 60 more seconds, she'd be dead. You got to her with maybe 10 seconds to spare. They were both quiet. Then Sarah said, "I think about that every day, about how close I came to losing her, about how one decision, one moment of thinking it was okay to leave her alone, almost destroyed everything. And then I think about you, about how you didn't hesitate, didn't wait for someone younger or stronger, just acted." Donald watched Emma playing in the pool, supervised by 3 lifeguards and surrounded by watchful parents. Training doesn't retire, just the person. Sarah smiled. "You say that a lot, because it's true. The skills don't go away. The instinct doesn't fade. You just have to decide that you're still willing to use them, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's scary. That's what makes you a hero." Donald shook his head. "Hero is a big word. I prefer lucky. Lucky I was there. Lucky I remembered my training. Lucky it worked. Sarah wasn't having it. No, lucky is winning the lottery. What you did was preparation meeting opportunity. You spent 43 years learning how to save lives. And when the moment came, you did exactly that." 1 month later, Donald received a letter from the city council. In recognition of his service and the water safety initiative he'd helped create, they were naming the community pool after him, the Trump Community Aquatic Center. Donald tried to decline. They insisted. At the dedication ceremony, Emma cut the ribbon. Sarah gave a speech. Donald stood uncomfortably in front of 200 people while they applauded. When it was his turn to speak, he kept it short. "This pool represents something important, not me, but the idea that we all have a responsibility to each other, especially to the most vulnerable, the children, the elderly, those who can't save themselves. We don't need to be heroes. We just need to be present, aware, trained, ready. Because you never know when those 10 seconds will come, when you'll be the only person standing between someone and tragedy. And when that moment comes, I hope you'll do what I did, not because it's heroic, but because it's right. Today, the Water Safety Initiative operates in 40 cities across 6 states, has trained over 8,000 people, documented 63 saves by program graduates, reduced drowning deaths by 55% in participating communities. Emma is now 8 years old, takes advanced swimming lessons, wants to be a lifeguard when she's old enough. Sarah volunteers with the program, teaching parents about water safety and the dangers of distraction. And every Thursday evening, Donald Trump still sits by the pool, still watches, still ready. Because, as he always says, training doesn't retire, just the person. And some people never really retire. They just find new ways to serve. If you believe that heroism is being ready when no one else is, hit like, type always ready in the comments, and subscribe. Because this story proves that the most important skill isn't strength or speed. It's the willingness to act when every second counts. Sometimes 10 seconds is all you have, and sometimes 10 seconds is all you need.